2 weeks, or 1 week, I guess.
Holy shit, Kevin!
Wow! What?
You get this only nowhere else but you, Kevin and Zach. Kevin, I'm not gonna lie.
Now look at this. A carved penguin. There it is.
Oh no. Are the O's fine? Are the Orioles fine, Kevin?
It's so embarrassing. I'm so embarrassed.
Okay. The Orioles stole it. That game was stolen. It was stolen from them, then they stole it right back.
What?
Oh my
Wait, what's going on? What is happening?
What is going? Was it a diving play? He bobbled the ball.
What is happening? Are they challenging it? No. Other wall. No.
Kevin, I don't know what you saw, how much you saw. I've been chugging champagne. Sure, I spilled a lot, but what a game, man.
He will be the legendary
Birdfish!
How about that?
Birdfish fans, stand up. We did it.
What can I say? What can I say? Baltimore Orioles win a game. Feels like a while since we said that. Why does it feel that way? Because it has been a while since we said that. Get the job done against the Los Angeles Angels. Little West Coast action. 4-1, the final score. Lots of good things happening in this game. Again, I will preface this by saying that, this is what they need to do. Beat the bad teams on your schedule. The Angels are a bad team. But this is the month that we've been talking about. Capitalize on that. Right? Capitalize on your schedule. Get the momentum back this month. Like, this is the time to do it. It was a disappointing start, I guess, in the month, right? Obviously, the Royals at the very beginning and then getting swept by the Twins. Just beat the bad teams. Beat the bad teams. Get your momentum back. It starts small. And, again, just keep on showing it. This Angels lineup, it's bad. The Angels are bad. And you have to, as the Orioles, be able to capitalize on that. And they did that today. We're not going to go super long tonight. I have to be up early, and I'm also doing a bonus episode of Locked On Ravens. Zach is in the back. We're going to bring him on. He's on the road. He's in the streets. So we're only going to do about 10 to 15 minutes to talk call-ins. Then we'll be out of here pretty quickly because, these late night ones, it's late night. So excited to talk about a win. Let's bring Zach Bollinger onto the screen. Zach, a win is a win is a win is a win.
I was going to say, Kevin, a win's a win. Tomo, hell of a job. I mean, maybe I would have given him an extra batter or two, but honestly, Tomo, fantastic job. Gunnar, doing what he needs to do. I mean, we've talked about time and time again, we need these young hitters to do what they need to do. It felt like, honestly, we're still at just Gunnar and Jackson, but you'll take it. So a win's a win, like you said. Loved what Tomo did. Felix slamming the door. Feeling good about this one, but this is a series you need to take.
You need to sweep it if you're being honest.
I was just going to say, if we're being honest, you have to sweep this series just at the position the Orioles are in. If you can just sweep this series, it's a totally different outlook on the season if you can sweep this series. Even if you just grab 2 of 3, you're still 9 back. If you grab all 3, you're 7 back from 500. Maybe you can make some noise in May. This is a big series. They have to win games here.
It's going to take a while for them to, dig out of this hole. Obviously, if you sweep this series, that's a very good start. And I mean, it's what we've talked about. I've mentioned it probably already 3 times on this show in the first 5 minutes we're on. This is the month. This is the month that you do it.
It's
And
the month.
you know, you like 2 out of 3 would be a disappointment against this Angels team, if we're being honest. Like it just would. And a lot of that has to do with what you said, Zach. It's the position that they have put themselves in. So you have to capitalize on the bad teams. And by capitalize, you know, if you were in a better spot, winning a series against a bad team would be capitalizing, right? You obviously you get up in the win column and you exit a series better than when you entered it. But, you know, you can't afford these, like, you know, 2 out of 3 against the Padres or the Tigers or the Yankees. That's fine, right? Like, hey, that's a win. But 2 out of 3 against the Angels would feel like a pretty big letdown, for being honest. And, you know, you're right. It gets carried on the back of Tomo here, who goes 7 1/3, 93 pitches. So glad he didn't get the Dean treatment and get pulled out for 86. He got the extra batter in the 8th, longest start of an Orioles pitcher this season. And that's exactly what they needed. Now, it was a little shaky. Cano comes in and
Kevin, I'm not going to lie. Cano came in and walked the first 2 batters, and I was like, can we not do this tonight? I was like, anything.
It felt like the same script. It felt like the same script. Tomo could have gotten a batter or 2 more. Cano comes in. It's shaky, and you're like, oh.
Kevin, I was sitting there watching the game, and he walked the second batter, and I was like, not tonight. Like, I was almost begging with the television. I was like, can we just get the win? Can we capitalize on a start of this quality? I'm glad they got it done. I mean, obviously, Cano, a little shaky. Felix comes in, slams the door. They got the job done. I mean, it felt like one of those wins where they still didn't hit great with runners in scoring position. I mean, or am I going to sit here and be like, this was a great all-around win? Not necessarily. I think it was either 7 of the 9 guys got a hit or a run this game, so I love the consistency throughout the lineup. But at the same time, it felt like there was more opportunity. And I feel like that's what we've been preaching for this Orioles team. Got Kevin Watts, it's opening day. I mean, it feels like the consistency is not there with runners in scoring position still. I'd rather be having this conversation after a win than a loss. You know, I feel like we've said that a few times this year. It's like, yes, was it perfect? No. But you got the win, and you can build off that. Tomo deserved this win. Tomo won this game. I don't want to give it – Tomo and Gunnar. I'll give Gunnar, obviously, gets the homer in the first, goes in the triple. But it felt like one of those games where Tomo decided early on, I'll go win this game. It didn't feel like one of those games where we've had those where the starter obviously starts out shaky. We've even seen that from Tomo, where he goes out there and Sugano in the first inning is either cold or he comes out, you know, he's not landing his pitches. He walks guys. He gives up runs in the first. We've decided, I guess, so far through his first few starts that the first inning, it takes him a little bit to get settled down. Tonight, it felt like from the very first pitch, Tomo was here to play. So it just felt like one of those nights where when you look back on it, Tomo had that kind of stuff. I mean, I'll be honest, Kevin, I did not see him turning into a strikeout pitcher. He's suddenly getting the swing and miss stuff. I'll take it. I'll take it. Overall, just this win, Tomo, Gunnar, but mostly I'll give it to Tomo. That was Tomoyuki Sugano. That was one of those wins that this team needed badly.
You know, every time Tomo goes on the mound, it feels like a win, and that balances out every time Morton goes on the mound, it feels like a loss. So
I was going to say,
like
Kevin, I literally tweeted out during this game, I said, watching Tomoyuki Sugano pitch gives me hope. Like, it is one of the few things that gives me hope in this team.
Yeah, and I mean, it's true. He has been, you know, Dean is like that guy. It feels like whenever the Orioles need a big game and they're slumping, and this goes back to last season, if you watch Zach and I, felt like every time the Orioles were floundering in the second half, Dean was the one to pitch, and Dean was the one to kind of carry him out of that. And he certainly did all he could to try to do that his last start. Now, the Orioles couldn't get him that win, which was tragic, but or I guess couldn't, get out of that with a win.
I was going to say that was
yeah. But we're
just catastrophe. But
regardless, I mean, this is the perfect start. He goes 7 1/3, which exceeds honestly my thresholds that I've set for this starting staff. He was the guy that you weren't really sure if he was going to not only Zach a strikeout pitcher, but was he going to be able to be an innings eater? Like, was he going to be able to go out there and be consistent with his pitches? I mean, you look at 93 pitches through 7 1/3, and you're feeling pretty good about that. I honestly thought it could have gone a batter or two more, but
I believe so too. But Kevin, I'm not gonna scoff at 7 1/3. Do I believe they could have kept him in longer, especially against a righty coming up next? Yeah, I think Tomo is kind of in that zone where I would have let him go 8 if he can get through 8 without allowing another batter in the 8th. If he can go 1, 2, 3, let him do that. Kevin, I feel like a broken record, but Tomo has just been everything this team needed. It sucks the start that they've had outside of him, but if you look back on the signings, and I'll give Michael Eyes credit because I know a lot of people don't want to right now, Tomoyuki Sugano was a home run signing so far, at least. He's a guy where now you have Sugano, you have Eflin back in the rotation. Dean is obviously pitching way past his April expectations every year because it feels like Dean can't pitch in April, and then he becomes this very solid pitcher after. Don't know what it is, but it happens. You have Cade taking that extra step, it feels like, every game. The pitching feels like it's somewhat coming together, Kevin. Weirdly enough, it's the hitting that concerns me. It seems weird to say, but the hitting is what genuinely concerns me with this team long term, because can they put it together? It seems like, weirdly enough, the pitching is putting it together before the offense is. It feels like the pitching is suddenly stepping up in moments where the offense is failing them and not the other way around.
Yeah. And I mean, that's exactly what you have to figure out next if you're the Orioles. You mentioned the runners in scoring position tonight. They were 2 for 13 in
It's
this
not
game.
good.
So,
Good.
that's why I'm saying, like, hey, wins are great. Yeah, you should win against this Angels team because this Angels team is bad. But there are still
Kevin,
things you need to work on. And it's an Angels team without Mike Trout, too. So
yeah, and I was going to say that's what I was kind of saying, where I'm like, it feels like one of those wins where it's like I'd rather talk about these situations. Kevin, the biggest rat I've ever seen just ran through the trash cans next to me in the city of Baltimore, and I'm not going. That was a massive.
You're getting surrounded out there?
I don't think so.
They're about to form a little circle around you.
That thing ran past me, and that was like a small dog. That was massive. But what kind of I was saying is, this is one of those wins where it feels like you would rather take a win than obviously talking about these struggles with the loss. Because, Kevin, I'm not going to lie to you, it's been tough. I mean, it feels like the Orioles can't hit with runners in scoring position no matter what the game is. You can't go, okay, that was last game, this is this game. Feels like it's just a philosophical, I don't know what it is. They can't hit with runners in scoring position. I'd rather speak about this after a win, but at the end of the day, this is still an issue that they have to find some sort of situation for. I mean, it's even to the point where they can't get guys in with no outs and a guy on third. They can't even get out to get a guy in. They can't sacrifice themselves again. It's just a God. It feels like I've said the word a million times on the stream, throughout the days. It's frustrating, Kevin, because they can't hit with runs in scoring position right now.
Yeah, and again, it's productive outs, it's manufacturing runs, it's playing small ball. It's all of those things we've been talking about since last season that it just feels like they can't get a handle on it. And at the end of the day, they're not going to get away with that against better teams than the Angels. It's just it's not going to happen. Where the way that Angels lineup looks right now, it's a graveyard out there. Like there is not a lot in that Angels lineup.
Sweep it. Kevin, you have to sweep this.
And so my point, it's like, you can maybe get away with that. And it's even hard to say that because these are professional baseball players. But, a team like the Padres probably wins that game 6-4. Or, a team like the Yankees, although the Orioles kind of been the Yankee owners over the last
Which
year or
is
so, which is
even
crazy. But,
crazier that they're doing that.
you have to work out those kinks. But, you go back to a year, like almost a full calendar year where we've been talking about that same issue. So it's awesome they got a win, but there are still things that I need to see them do to consistently feel like they are back, which they have a long way to go to dig out of that hole. All right, let me go take care of Banksy. He's screaming his head off.
Yeah, you take care of Banksy. I will. What's up? Welcome to Zach React. What Kevin was saying. I mean, this team is even in wins like tonight. It feels like they're not completely there. It feels like this team is. It still can't hit with runners in scoring position. In the big moment, they still cannot come up clutch. They can't get that extra run across the board. I mean, past 2 games, they've had a guy thrown out at home. It just feels like altogether something is going wrong with them and runners. With them and runners in scoring position, something's not clicking. Something is not. I don't know if it's approach. I don't know if it's just whatever it is, the pressure of it. When the Orioles are getting runners in scoring position, as of, I would love to say it's just this year, but it's not just this year. It's been as of probably, mid-July of last year. You guys can't see it. Massive rat. They are everywhere. But back to what I was saying. It feels like it's not only been it's just this season. We fired the hitting coaches. Do I think they brought in the best guys from the Seattle Mariners? No. But overall, it feels like this has been 6-7 months of Orioles baseball where these guys cannot get a hit when it matters the most, Kevin.
Yeah. I mean, I heard the end of what you were saying, but they need to. And I see Steve making a good point. When we hit, we can't pitch. When we pitch, we can't hit. We got to put both together at the same time. And that's exactly right. Again, it feels like that graphic that people post where it's, one thing is off or 2 things are on, or 1 thing is on and 2 things are off. And
what it feels like.
Again, I don't want to be the I'm going to complain about everything after a win, because a win is still good. You're exactly right.
I would rather talk about this after a win than a loss.
Yes, that's exactly yes. After a win, it feels a lot better to talk about the issues, but that doesn't mean the issues are gone. It doesn't mean they're not still a big deal. So that's kind of the point I think we're both making here, Zach. And you look at the lineup here, you get 0 for 10 from your top 2 guys, and
not great,
and you're still able to win the game.
And that's where it feels like I would rather talk about these issues after a win.
Yeah, Seti's in a cold spell right now. Adley is teetering again to hitting below 200 on the year.
Anybody besides Ryan O'Hearn has earned the fact that they can go through a rough spout, it's Cedric Bones. He's carried the team at times. He deserves to be able to go through a slump and the rest of the team pick him up.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what we've been preaching here, is that it shouldn't be
just 2.
Yes. It shouldn't be just 2. And it can't just be your stars all the time. Gunnar was going through a rough stretch. Gunnar is one of the main reasons on offense you were able to win this game. Emmanuel Rivera, I think, is playing awesome baseball right now. He is filling in pretty admirably. And, I guess in the field, you want to get those throws up a little bit. But, at the end of the day, you do have Mountie there. Mountie himself has been struggling at the plate, but he was able to at least get a hit. So he's hitting above 200 now. I saw a comment earlier about should they trade Mountie if he can't, get it together by June. It just kind of.
I don't know his trade value right now.
Yeah, it just depends on what you can get, because I'm not just giving him away, and I think his value in the field, is a hitter right now. Yeah, it's tough to watch, but his value in the field is exceptional. He is one of the best first basemen in the league in the field. So that's something that can't be just completely thrown out when talking about Mountie. But yeah, at the plate, it's tough to watch. And, we can't ignore that. So I think it's great that Jackson is looking the way that he does. And, Gordon's talking about Mayo getting traded. Yeah, I think Mayo's done with this team. I think it's over for Kobe Mayo. I'm just saying, I'm not saying he can't be a good player. I'm not saying, he needs more bats at the MLB level. I agree with you. I just don't think it's in Baltimore. I just don't.
I'm gonna be honest. I think he has more of a chance than Mountie though right now.
I really
do. I think they would value his offensive upside more. I think they would keep, because Mountie's got 2 more years. I think that the Orioles, under what they're currently kind of building, would rather have Mayo for 6 years, 5 years, than Mountie for 2 more years. I just think if we're looking at, because I know it's not going to be the same trade value, but where are we trading Mountie for right now? What would we trade if you're not getting a frontline top guy with 2 to 3 years of control? Why are you trading Kobe Mayo in this type of season?
But when your point applied to Mountie being kept for this season and Mayo maybe getting, because you said what's the trade value? What's the trade value for Mayo right now? Probably not as high as it could be. And if you're not giving him, but what's Mountie's trade value? I think that if you're trying to get a win now piece, and we'll see what the Orioles.
Why would you, with this team 9 games under 500 right now?
I mean,
even after a win.
I think that he's your best value piece, and even if this season is a wash and it's the off season,
but if you get someone for Kobe right now, Kevin, you have to go 2 to 3 years. It can't be a rental.
Sure, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. But I just feel like whether it's Mayo just being pissed off with the team, because you can't treat a guy like this. Like it's like Heston.
No, I agree.
It's like Heston situation to 10 different levels higher than that. You're sending him up, and then what's the message you're sending to a guy who comes up, struggles, and says, okay, yeah, you can't do it, you're going back down. That's not a good message. And I think that Kobe's going to end up just being pissed off and demanding a trade. That's what I think's going to happen. So
I agree. I think that could happen. If I would have to trade the two, especially with the way the season's going, I would rather have Kobe Mayo playing first/DH.
I just think that they're going to try to keep Mountie because I think that they value the veteran presence. Is that the right decision? I mean, with the way he's hitting, I'm not so sure, but I just think the value in the field is big, and it's apparent they don't trust Kobe. It's just apparent they don't right now.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why Carlson wasn't set down today. That
should have been the move, but alas, here we are.
Yeah.
There we are. So, all right, you want to get call-ins going?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let's see just some
cool.
quick call-ins.
All right, let's get to Walter real quick. Walter, appreciate you for the 5. Get Westberg back healthy in a couple weeks, and Holiday, Westberg, Gunnar is a nice 1, 2, 3 in the order. Moving struggling Adley to 6th. I don't disagree. I would. I might do Holiday, Gunnar, O'Hearn, Westberg 5, Adley 6. Although, who am I putting in the 4? It's not Mountie, so.
So we're what? No, I agree.
Holiday, Gunnar.
No, I agree with this. I agree with this. No, this is what I said, I think, last night. If once Westberg is healthy and he can actually get through everything and be the Jordan Westberg with Holiday 1, Westberg 2, Gunnar 3. The only switch I would say is Gunnar and Westy. If you all put Gunnar 2 and Westy 3, I'm very down.
Yeah, that just might be what it is. Where if you don't put Westy at 5, I think Holiday Gunnar is a pretty lethal 1, 2, and then if you want to put Westy at 3 or O'Hearn at 3 or Westy 3, O'Hearn 4, Adley 5.
If that's a change they make for lefty righty, instead of just taking your best hitters out of the lineup, they go Westy hits 3 versus lefties and O'Hearn bats 3 versus righties and the other bats 4th or 5th. I am so okay with that. But put your best players in.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, they need to be in. It's not desperation in terms of hey, the season ends in a week, but it's desperation in terms of you have to turn it around or else your season's lost. So you have to claw and fight for this. And in order to do that, you need to put your best players in the spots where they're going to get the most opportunities. So I think that's just where we are with that. let me put the call-in link in.
Yeah.
We're gonna do again shorter and probably even shorter call-ins, just because again I need to get up early tomorrow and do Locked on Ravens,
so
and Zach going crazy on the streets.
I was gonna say few comments, and then we're gonna kind of move through.
Yeah, we're gonna move them through. This might be a hang up and listen night.
It's way colder out here than I thought.
It was a cold day today, like cold, at least compared to what it's been out here. So, all right, let me get this going. Where is the? Oh, man. I'm trying to get those Memorial Day sales. My whole setup is going to be hopefully discounted on Memorial Day sales.
Yeah, this is, Kevin, it is way, I don't know if it's the wind or something, but it is way colder out here than I anticipated. I'm glad I wore a sweatshirt because I kind of thought it would be cold, but I didn't wear sweatpants. I wore my shorts, and I'm not going to lie, I regret it.
I rarely wear shorts nowadays, like ever, even if it's warm out. I kind of just go with the Under Armour khakis. I mean, that's my thing, but like, I don't know. Even when it's warm out, I don't really wear I don't wear shorts that much anymore. Man, all right. Call-ins are live on the on the posts tab for members. So if you want to call in for a minute or two, tacos with us, or anything else. Nuggets had a big win tonight. Take 50 years off my life every single time I watch them, but
yeah, needed more from Jokic. Not gonna lie, that was disappointing.
Oh my dude, when he took that last, every time he shot a three, I'm just like, come on, man. Then they gave him the final shot like at the end of the fourth quarter, and I'm like, why, man? But the Nuggets are usually, not all the time, but usually a pretty good overtime team, especially in the playoffs. So. All right, let's get to our first call-in here. We got Ray behind the scenes. Ray's coming on. Ray, what's good, man? How you doing?
Good, guys. Great after a win. We need Gibson to shove tomorrow.
Need it.
I'll hang up and listen because I know Kevin, you got something tomorrow. My whole thing is Rivera's got to be on this team, even when Urias and Westberg come back. And I don't care if it takes Mountcastle figuring it out in AAA for a month. I really don't.
Rivera's playing good ball, man. He's playing good ball. I know. And at this point, the Orioles need every contributor they can. And guys who are playing well for him. You can't send guys down who are playing like he is right now. So I agree. I mean, even if it's not an everyday role, like you just need to have good ball players on your team, guys who are playing well. And I mean, the obvious move should be Carlson for Westberg. Like that's pretty evident and apparent, but I think the conversation becomes once Colton comes back and nothing else happens, where do you look for that next guy to go down? So we'll see. It's a big decision, and sending Mountie down certainly would send some waves, through for a lot of people. But I think at this point, like Rivera's playing better. It's just it is what it is.
When you're in the hole, though, it's what have you done for me lately? Ever since Rivera, even last year, Rivera's been hitting the ball so well, and he's the only one hitting runners in scoring position.
I was just about to say. Right. It feels like Emmanuel Rivera. He's got almost a little Ramon Urias in him where he's going to go out there and when it matters, he's going to come up with the big hit. He has that kind of veteran factor to him that it feels like this team needs in the lineup right now.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And real quick before Zach's attacked by Master Splinter.
I moved from the alley. People. We got scared.
Tomo Sugano, most valuable Oriole right now, by far. Not
without a doubt.
Not a question. 1,000%. Yeah. Awesome, Ray. Well, I appreciate you calling in as always. Hopefully we'll talk. Hopefully a win streak gets slow. We can talk after a win streak, right? That would feel pretty good.
Gibson goes 7, gives up 3 earned runs. That's my prediction.
When we're back here tomorrow and that happens, celebrate all you want because that's what we need. So awesome, Ray. Appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
Yep.
Peace. All right. Let's keep it moving along. Oh, what do we got? Oh,
sorry. I'm not gonna lie. We're walking to a pizza joint, and I felt the need to do a heel flick.
Man, that was impromptu.
Kevin, I try to give the people what they want.
That wasn't a cartwheel, but you know what? We'll take.
Kevin, they took me out of my alley. They're trying to make me walk, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
I felt
you got to go back tomorrow prepared to
suddenly
fight
my
for your
energy
territory.
told me
You
to
know, you
do
got
a
to
heel
prepare
click.
fight for
Kevin,
your territory.
You
Fight
know,
for your territory.
suddenly the vibes told me heel click was the way to go. I don't know. I just went with it.
You know, sometimes the vibe just speak to you, man. I've been
Yeah.
there. I've been
You
there.
just gotta go with the raw vibe. But
Yeah.
let's keep it going.
Cool. Let's move on. We got Joe behind the scenes. Joe, you've been sweating it out with these hogs.
Oof, boy. Yeah, we're gonna make it quick. I get back to it. It's 4-4 in the eighth. They gave up
Oh
two
man.
runs. They got out of it though, but there was a 3-hour rain delay down in Baton Rouge, so the game didn't start till 9:55 local time. So that'd be 10:55 there. So we're going strong now.
That's just a late night all around for you. O's and hogs. Jeez.
It is, and Ben McDonald's on the call. So
Oh, well, that at least makes it
That
worth
makes
it.
it better at least.
Yeah.
on the wrong side of this one today. Sorry about that, Ben, but love you, but you're on the wrong side of this battle today.
Yeah. Maybe your hogs can stick it to them here. So
Let's hope so.
yeah.
It's keeping me on pins and needles. We need this. The LSU's 2 games behind us, and we're 2 games behind Texas. Texas got spanked by the Gators, unless they came back. It was 6-0 in the first. I don't know what the final score was, but they were getting spanked. So hopefully the Florida Gators won and the Razorbacks win, and we can gain a game in the SEC and get that title. Play for the title next weekend.
Let's go.
Let's do it. But it's a tight ball game.
Is this this is the first game of the series?
It is.
Okay.
Friday, Saturday,
All right.
Sunday.
All right. Well,
Zach Root went 7 or I think 6 innings. Zach Root went today. So,
all right. Hey, pitchers are going deep into games tonight. I guess it's just it's the Joe special. You got Arkansas and the Orioles pitchers going deep into games.
Quickly, if an extension is signed, Sugano needs to be the guy. 2 years.
First,
give
Joe.
him 2 years.
Joe, put him first.
He deserves it.
Give him, Joe, I don't
top.
care. Give the 35-year-old 3 years. Give the 35-year-old 3 years.
I'd give him 3 years because I don't know that they'll have a chance to re-sign Zach Eflin. They might. Depends how he likes Baltimore and the clubhouse and how the team turns out this year. I mean, if they just stink it and don't contend, I don't blame him for leaving. But even if they offer him $30 million a year, he wants to go pitch on a team that's going to give him runs. So if this team can't do that, I don't expect Zach Eflin back in 26. But if they turn it around, Eflin, Sugano, Bradish next year, Grayson if he's healthy, that's a big if. But I'll take that rotation to start off with Cade Povich as my 5th starter or Dean Kramer as my 5th starter. That'd be all right.
Yeah, go out there and get somebody else too for that 5 spot, or whatever you want to do. So and it's honestly good thinking ahead, Joe, because we don't know what's going to happen with Eflin after this year. I think people, it's an underrated, like everybody's talking about Seti and O'Hearn, but Eflin is the one that I've been kind of circling of like, well, this guy's also a free agent too, so you got to figure it out with him.
He's at 18 right now, so I mean, it's going to be a $25-30 million AAV. That's just what it's going to be.
Yeah, he's going to be expensive. So
it is what it is. But yeah, I'll let you guys get going because I know you got stuff to do, Kevin, and I want to watch this game.
All right. Well, good luck to the Hogs.
Zach makes it back to the pizza place safe.
Yeah. I have no clue.
Are there any turtles around, Zach? Are there any?
No, just rats. No, we just do rats here. We love a good rat.
Great. Good job, Zach. Well, Joe, appreciate you as always, man. Go Hogs, and good luck to you. We'll talk soon, all right?
Yes, sir. See you tomorrow.
Right, Joe, appreciate you. Boom. Yeah, how's your walk going?
We're actually we're hitting a decent pace. I'm kind of walking sort of behind. I'm not gonna lie. I'm about to walk into a crowd, so let's head to our next call.
All right. Well, we got our last one of the night. He knows who he is. It's Mr. Gordon. Let's bring him on. Oh, we got the cat going. I got one of mine is sleeping over here. We got the cat go. Cat This is Cats galore over here on Kevin and Zach React. Let's go.
His name is Lovey.
Lovey?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
He's
How
the
old?
most. How old is he? How old are you? 3? I think he's 3
3?
years old.
Okay.
Yes. Snowshoe cap. No, snowshoe cap cat. So he's a handful. Giving me some hugs right now. My boy right here.
Well,
Right.
I think he senses the Orioles won a game. And is
Yes.
feeling good.
He is feeling good. Like feeling good. There was a lot of Orioles tendencies and a lot of Orioles things in this win, and I don't know how to feel about it because it's like, man, we're playing the Angels and they are a dumpster fire right now. And just like, I don't want to say the Orioles are a dumpster fire because it's crazy. We're not. We just have a lot of talent and don't know how to use the talent. That's just like, and like watching the Orioles this year really gave me a lot of appreciation to the Ravens because if you think about it, we have Lamar Jackson or he came to us at the perfect time and put the right people around him to allow him to succeed. Even though a lot of people get a lot of slack for Greg Roman, they gave him the realms and the keys to the NFL to succeed. Other teams could have him and, he probably would have been out of the league by now. But like we have this talent and we're just not using them properly. We're not coaching these guys up properly. And it's just like I feel like sometimes this team, like the coaches and the manager and everything, is just failing this team miserably. And that's honestly how I feel. And watching this year kind of gave me a lot of appreciation to the Ravens, kind of. But it's a win, and we got to keep stacking them. Got to keep stacking these wins.
Yeah, especially against the Angels, who you said, it's not a good baseball team right now, and that's not. It's not because they're playing bad baseball, which I mean, they are, but it's also that they don't have the talent the Orioles do. Like the Orioles on paper are a much more talented team. This is where your talent needs to shine through. And again, I'm not asking for them to hit 13 for 13 with runners in scoring position for 3 games and complete game shutouts every game, but you're not going to get away with, what was it again, 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position tonight? Yeah, 2 for 13. You're not going to get away with that, especially against better teams. 1, as you're trying to climb out of this hole, and 2, if you do somehow make it out of this and get to the playoffs, that's not going to fly in the postseason either, as we saw last season. So look, I think it's awesome that Tomo's looked so good this season. I think it's awesome that Gunnar was able to put the team on his back tonight. Rivera's been playing solid baseball. Holiday obviously has been doing well. So it's like guys are putting it together, but you have to do it more consistently.
Remember the last time we spoke, I said ever since Emmanuel Rivera has been here, he's done nothing but produce for this team.
Yeah.
And I really thought that he was going to make the team coming out of spring training, but I guess we didn't see him as such. And ever since he's been here, he's produced. He gives me Root Neto Door vibes. Like he's like a I don't want to say a dollar brand, Root Neto Door, but that's the kind of vibes that I get from him. Like it's like a secondhand Root Neto Door, and it's dope to see. And it's just like we need guys like that, guys that come off like that. When your number's called, you can produce next man up, and that's literally all he's been doing. And I love what Ramon Laureano has done. Like, even though like I still feel like it's, hit for the fences or bust, but he's been doing a good job too. And, we just need to be more consistent. And I just don't know why this team can win 101 games with the core that we have today, and then win 94 games I think it was 94 games last year, and just fall off a cliff in the middle.
No. I think you might be muted, Gordon. We can't hear you anymore. Hello? Gordon? Hello? Gordon? We can't.
Oh, I can.
Okay, now you're back. Yeah, you're back. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I was getting a phone call, but
you're good. You're good.
Yeah. What was I saying? I kind of forgot what I was saying, but
Rivera and everything.
but I don't know. We just gotta. Oh, what I was saying was I don't know how this team could win 101 games
Yeah.
2 years ago, 94 games, and or like we were we went through a major like downfall in the second half of the team, and we had so many wins. We were like number one in the league number one in the league in wins going into like the second half, and then we had so many losses, but we still could afford to have those losses because we built that huge lead going into the second half. And it kind of didn't hurt us. It hurt us in the playoffs, but it didn't hurt us making it to the playoffs. But this year, those losses are hurting us. And I just don't understand how we can have that consistency and just, wake up the next day and then that complete consistency we had fell off. Because I remember the Orioles were like one of the best teams hitting with runners in scoring position one day, and then the complete next is just like, dog, we can't hit a beach ball to save our lives with a guy on third. Like what are we doing? And it sucks
Yeah.
because it was the same thing last year. We had a whole off, and this has nothing to do with signings or anything like that. We had a whole off season to address. It's not like we had 2 weeks of the last season of just 2 weeks of just we couldn't hit with runners in scoring position. We had a good 2.5 months every day almost seeing this team not be able to hit and run with runners in scoring position last year. And then we had a whole offseason to try to correct it and do something with it. And then we come out do the same exact thing. Like, what are we hitting with runners in scoring position? It's under 200, right?
It
Like,
should
it
still
doesn't have
be,
to be the
yeah.
exact number, but under 200 for a team that's supposed to win a World Series is very pathetic. And tonight that was very like, I think it started with the Cedric Mullins with 2 outs, like, because at that point I think we were like 2 for 3 or something, like, no, 1 for 2 or 2 for 2 or something like that, and then Cedric Mullins popped up, and I was like, man, and I'm like, you know what? Let's not think negative. We can have a good game and go
Right.
on and so forth, and then it just started going down, and I'm just like, man, even when we're up, we just cannot keep our foot on the gas pedal, and it sucks. And it's like even when we were winning those games, it seemed like we would win games in the seventh inning or more. It's like we would have the first 6 innings, if you remember, we would have like the first 6 innings. We would scrabble around, and then the seventh inning to the ninth inning, then that's when the Orioles scored the runs, and then we would win our games like that. And I would see us, we're winning and we're scraping out, we're winning, getting 100 wins and then 94 wins in that kind of way. And it's just like, that's not sustainable. And I'm just like, are we going to address it or are we going to fix it? And now it's like, we're not even getting to the seventh inning and winning those games or having those 2 or 3 innings where we score like 7 or 6 runs. And then the rest of the inning, we're just like playing, keep this game the way it is so that the other team won't win. And it's just like, now we're not even getting that lead to even be able to just coast on and win those games. And it's just like
Yeah.
the way we were winning was good, but it wasn't sustainable. And now that it's not being sustainable, it's like people are like, man, like with the what do you call it? With our coaches, with our offense and everything, it's just like, man, I kind of could see it happening, but we just were, like I keep saying, exceeding expectations and doing better. But, I kind of could see this happening with the way that this offense is going. But it's just, even in wins, it's frustrating because we're so far behind. And it's just like, dog, as long
Yeah.
as we keep stacking it, we'll be good. But a win is a win for right now,
I hear you. This Orioles team hasn't scored more than 6 runs. Well, in the past month and a week, in the past 5 weeks, the Orioles have scored more than 6 runs twice, I believe it is. Back
That's not
on
okay.
April 16th and then April 5th was the time before that. And I think April 16th. So 3 times. Yep, 3 times. So, but it feels like, going to your point, it's like it's a lot of 2-run games, 3-run games, 4-run games, 1-run games, and your pitching has to be pretty spot on. Not perfect, but pretty spot on if you're performing that way. So again, runners in scoring position has to get better. And if you're not going to do that consistently, well, you're not going to get very far because again, good teams will punish you. This is a good month to get back into a groove, and you
Yeah.
kind of have an excuse. You know, I mean, you look at the upcoming schedule, you know, obviously they have 2 more against Los Angeles, but then it's the Twins and the Nationals at home. You got 3 against the Brewers on the road. Then you go to Fenway for 4, and then you got the Cardinals for 3, and your month ends with 2 against the White Sox leading into June, which is a 3-game series. So, you know, it feels like this is the month that you need to turn it around, or at least break out of some of your bad habits. I'm not asking to win every single game, but at least I want to see more consistency with the runners in scoring position and with starters going deeper into games. Starters going deep into games has been a pretty good couple of nights for the Orioles, but now I think that next step is the runners in scoring position. So that's kind of where I am.
And it seems like our lineup, it's hard to score runs when one through I can't say Gunner, but Cedric's going 0 for 4. Adley's going. Cedric's going 0 for 4. Gunner's going 0 for. It's almost 2 o'clock. You know, my mind is kind of like scrambled right now. But Cedi's going 0 for 3, I think, or 0 for 4. Adley's going 0 for 4, 0 for 5. You know, thank God. Adley. I mean, not Adley. Gunner had a good game, and then the rest of the lineup, outside of Gunner and who else? I forgot. It's literally 2
Rivera
o'clock.
had 2 hits.
Yeah.
Jackson had 2 hits. I mean, so everybody not named Mullins, Adley, or Laureano had at least 1 hit tonight.
Man, and that can't be. That cannot be. Our stars really need to step up. Like, and if you aren't that guy, start making yourself that guy that speaks up. We need that, and we need Gunnar and Adley to, take realm of this team. If they're supposed to be the Orioles, they need to be in that locker room being the Orioles, and they got to step up soon. Some people have to grow up pretty fast, and they have to do it, and I don't look at anybody else but them to really be the ones that do it, because they are the Orioles right now. Like they are. You think of the Orioles, you think of Gunnar, you think of Adley, and they need to step up big time. And hopefully Gunner's doing that. And I really want to see Adley get out of this slump that he's been in for these last couple months. But yeah.
Yeah,
But
and I think the big thing too is, you talk about your leadership, and the Orioles certainly brought in a lot of vets this offseason to, a lot of older guys who have a lot of experience, but it just means something different when it comes from your stars, when it comes from those guys. I think an example of this in the NBA is a guy like Kawhi Leonard, where he's the star of that team, but he is very reserved. He's very quiet. He's not that like rah-rah in your face type of leader. And I'm sure the Clippers would love for him to kind of get more into that mode. And even when you talk about a guy like Lamar's not Roquan when it comes to the in your face, but and first of all, 100% correct. He does. But 2, he also has grown into that role. Like he is more vocal now. And it's, again, not going to be like he's breaking down every single huddle, screaming in your face, but he holds you accountable. He works with you. He lets you know. So, it comes down to, with these younger players growing into a leadership role, and they're still young enough where they absolutely can continue to grow into that. It's not like, Gunnar and Adley, they're not vocal, and they're never, I'm sure that things are being said in that locker room. Obviously, the 3 of us have no idea what's being said in that locker room. I wish we do, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of stuff to figure out with this team. A win is nice, but hopefully they can stack another one. But Gordon, appreciate you, man.
Yes.
Hopefully we can talk after a winning streak. And that'd be feeling pretty good.
Always. Yes. And look, I'm calling it now. We are going to sign somebody randomly out of here, and I really do think it's going to be Felix Bautista. We're going to sign him. I don't see us.
You mean like an extension?
Yeah, we're gonna give throughout even this win streak or losing streak, we're going to try to sign somebody, and trust me, it's going to be Felix. And I pray it's Felix, and then I feel like it needs to be a starting pitcher. Hopefully, Sugano, he needs to be the guy. He needs to be the guy. But, if these young guys are the core of this team, sign them. Like, didn't Bobby Witt get a huge contract? Didn't he sign for like 13, 12, 10 years almost? Like, they gave him a contract, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Last year it was 11 years, $288.8 million.
Yeah. And look, we can do it. We have the funds, even though our guys are struggling. If these are the guys you're going out there and, going to war for and expecting them to be a certain way, you got to sign them. Let them know that we value you, not just on the field and in the clubhouse, but we value your pockets too and want you here, so.
Yeah, I think it's
yeah.
also just like, it gives guys long-term security. Like now there's none of that really for a lot of these Orioles players. And I think,
Yeah.
you get signed to an extension and, you feel like you can settle down and you don't have that pressure on you. So I think that's a really good point too. But yeah, Gordon, you're the man as always.
Always.
Enjoy the rest of your night, or I guess now we're in the early morning. So enjoy the rest of your early morning into the morning.
Yes.
And hopefully we're talking after a 2-game win streak tomorrow. That feel pretty good.
2-game win streak, and yeah, I wish it would be a Brandon Hyde firing, but we're not going to fire him anytime soon. He has we're using the injury excuse, so he's not going anytime soon. So it would be nice, but man can wish, can he? But you guys be safe. Have a good one.
You too, Gordon. All right, talk soon.
Yes.
Peace. Oh man. How's your adventure going over there? It feels like
I got kicked out of the pizza well, I didn't get kicked out.
You got kicked out?
No, okay. I should have clarified. I went in, ordered my pizza, left, and then they were like, hey, we're closed. And I was like, I ordered a pizza, and they're like, you have to show your confirmation to get in. So I have to wait for them to text me that my pizza is done to go back in. And
they took your money and everything?
Oh, no. Like, I'm getting the pizza. It's just.
Well, no, what I'm saying, like, they took your money and then they said we're closed?
Yes, but like, so they're not letting anyone else in. But once I get the text confirmation that my pizza's ready, I can go in and get it. But they don't want. I was like,
dang, you can't even wait inside.
The things I do for this show. The things I do for this show, Kevin. I went in there. I ordered my pizza on stream, and then now I'm just waiting for hopefully.
Is it like a big pizza or is it like a personalized small?
It's like a
pizza?
personal.
Okay,
a little personalized. I got a little buffalo chicken. I try.
All right, that's not bad. Well, hopefully it's not a long wait because it's. I know. It's.
Oh, it's packed, Kevin. It's where we might be.
Are those people waiting inside? You can't wait inside?
Kevin, ain't that funny? I said the same thing. I was like, the one. They have 2 security guards at this pizza place. That's crazy.
Oh, dang.
The one was like, I've seen you in here. You're good. The other was like, I haven't, so you can't come in. I was like, are we really not?
Wow.
I was like, we're really just like contradicting your buddy right here. But the pizza better be great. Pizza better be great.
Yeah. Dang. That's nuts. Well, I think that's all we got. Yeah. Is that all you have?
That's all I got, Kevin.
All right. Well, Orioles win 4-1. We got to react to a win. That felt pretty good. It's been a while. Hopefully we're back here another late. It's still 9:35 tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, 9:38. Excuse me, 9:38 tomorrow. So be back here another late night stream. Because, again, we are Kevin and Zach React. We are your Orioles post-game destination, even in the wee hours of the morning.
What we do?
I'm going to go record a Locked On Ravens episode, a bonus one. So, I grind. And then I got to get up early to go celebrate a birthday tomorrow. So, that will be fun. Appreciate it. Beanie, I saw your comment up here. Thank you, Kevin and Zach, for hosting this daily therapy session, even the late night hours. That's what we're here for. That's what we enjoy doing. We love going through the emotions, even the bad ones, although we hope and wish they aren't bad ones. But, we love being a place where people can vent out their emotions, win or lose. So, well, that's what we'll be here tomorrow, win or lose. Hopefully a win. We'll be back here. So, for Mr. Zach Bollinger, I am Kevin Ostreicher, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Nader Gordon, Rugnetodor.
Hat Vallejo.
That's a crazy